girls, so today I thought I would just make a quick little video about one of the things I've learnt while having this chronic illness. So obviously being ill most of the time, I don't go out as often, and half of that is because I'm usually too tired or I don't want to flare my body, or it's a money issue. Anyway, so one of the things that I've noticed is that sometimes I can't always control what happens with my body. So I've lost the ability to control my body in the sense that sometimes I can't do things and sometimes I can. And sometimes that's frustrating and sometimes that's not. It's hard to say when it's going to be frustrating, it's hard to say when it's going to impact me, and it's hard to say when it's not. Because sometimes over time, it's minor things and you just need to shrug it off. But other times it's major things and you actually really feel impacted. So I've been out a few times this year, obviously, and I've gone to, just different things with my friends and stuff. And obviously I rest before I go out most of the time because I don't want to flare my body. But even so, I've rested before and I've still ended up really sick the next day. I always seem to feel it more the next day. I don't want to get out of bed. I can't get out of bed, or I do, but it's just really hard and I just don't feel well and I don't want to do anything, and it's very frustrating. Anyway, and so it's really hard for me sometimes to accept this idea. I've lost something. It's not fair that I'm not a normal 19-year-old. I mean, I wish all the time that I was, a normal 19-year-old, whatever. So, if you see all your friends doing, all the things you wish you were doing, it's kind of really hard to accept. But it's just, you have to learn to deal with it. What's interesting is that I haven't. And I don't know if that's because it's only been about 2 years that I've been sick, or it's just because it's just one of the consequences that never really go away. And it's funny to say that, this is what I've learned with a chronic illness, but it is that I can't actually always accept things. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. And sometimes it has a negative effect on me, but also has a negative effect on other people. Because I feel like when I actually openly speak about this issue, I make others feel like they don't know what to say, and they may feel worse for, what I'm going through, and that, watching them go through something great in their life makes me wish that I was too. And I'm not saying that to them in the sense that I'm jealous or that I hate them for it. I'm just saying that in the sense that, I wish that I was able to do what you guys are doing, you know what I mean? And to be honest, I feel like it isn't fair. It's never going to be fair. Having chronic illness is not fair. I didn't ask for it. No one ever asks for it. It wasn't something that was part of what I thought was going to happen in my life. It wasn't anyone's, really. Anyone thought this was going to happen, and it wasn't something I could stop. And so you have to adjust to that in your lifestyle. And that's hard because you change your friendship. Your friendships change. Your health, your whole health changes. The way you see yourself, the way you have to, try and recover, what you eat, what you do for exercise, everything is different. You have to learn to manage rest and going to work and doing uni and doing everything else you want to do on the side. And sometimes you can't, because sometimes you have to give up one. I don't currently work. I do uni, but I don't have work on the side, and I always manage my rest times. But sometimes you have to push yourself, and I hate that, because today I was actually thinking about it. I have 3 major assignments due and 1 exam coming up. So I am in between assignments, essays and an exam, studying for that. And, I have this mentality that I have to do everything on a certain day and have 1 day to rest. So, obviously today I usually cram everything in. And this morning I was really tired because I haven't been sleeping the last few nights. And I woke up this morning and I thought it was really unfair that I had to wake up early and try to motivate myself to do something for an assignment, all the while I'm finding my body to be awake. And it's not fair because, when do I get to sleep in? I've got another few weeks of, you know, in this routine and the stress and prompting myself to do what I have to do. And although I'm doing it, it still sucks because sometimes I feel like I just want to rest. Like, I just want to sit down and I want to do nothing for the rest of the day. And usually I do my assignments and then I rest, but I'm just saying in the general sense, I wish that I didn't have to push myself so hard to be what I need to be at that moment. And I think that's for anything really, even if you're sick or not, you try to push yourself to be maybe sometimes something that you're not. And I'm not a healthy person. Like, technically speaking, I'm not. And I'm pushing myself to the limits of somebody that would be. And I think that makes it worse in some senses because I end up really sick and I push myself too hard and I may end up, breaking down, for example. But at the same time, how else do you cope? There is no one way to cope about something like this. There's, you don't get taught straight away when you get a chronic, like when you've been diagnosed with a chronic illness, how you're supposed to handle it. You learn that over time, and that's something that is good and bad. It's good because you know how to control things and you know what you need and what you don't, but at the same time, you wish someone else was doing it for you. You wish you didn't have to do it for yourself. And so today that's what I've been thinking about. I've got to do this stuff, but at the same time, I wish I didn't have to. But even with that being said, I have got a bit of a positive outlook because I am going out tonight, so that's a goal to do while I do my uni work, and I'm getting there. And that's my main message. Even if you do push yourself, you're going to achieve what you need to achieve eventually. And I think that's my most important part of my mentality today, because I'm going to end up getting there. It's just, this process sucks. And I think it's okay for me to say that, because that's what I've learned with chronic illness, that sometimes things suck even more than you wish it did. And you can't do anything about it, but you have to learn to accept that it does. And sometimes you can't accept it, and you have to accept that you can't accept it. And it's funny how that works, but that's what you learn with the chronic illness. Anyway, see you guys.